It's time for the podcast. Yeah, the podcast is starting.
What's a podcast?
It's all gonna be alright in the end. It's gonna be alright. And if you've got some worries, my dear little friends, please rest your busy minds, because it's finally time for stories from now and then.
Deprecatus, can you hear me? Over here, the walkie-talkie. Hey, it's Captain Blunderface. I'm actually still out on my walk, and I don't think I'm going to make it back in time. Is there any chance you can start the recording? Oh, you already did. Amazing. Welcome back to the old library, everybody. I'll be there soon for another episode of Stories from Now and Then. Deprecatus is going to hold down the fort just for a bit here. Yeah, I was going for a walk around the neighborhood, but I brought my walkie-talkie and I dropped it, and I had to retrace my steps, and I only just found it. But hey, enough about me. Before today's story, we have a shout-out. Let's see. I have it with me here. Today's shout-out goes out to Miles from Dover, Florida. His favorite color is blue, and he loves animals. He loves to listen to the podcast in the car. Well, Miles, whether you're in the car or somewhere else, this episode today is for you. Hope you enjoy it. Well, thank you so much, Deprecatus, and without further ado, I think it's time to pass it off to Nicola for today's story. Hopefully I'll make it back for the end.
Thank you, Captain. Okay, today's story is a very old story. It's a folk tale from Slovakia, and it's the story of a very clever girl. Her name is Manka, so this story is called Clever Manka. Clever Manka, Part 1. Once upon a time, there was a rich farmer who was as greedy as he was rich. He was always driving a hard bargain and always getting the better of his poor neighbours. One of these neighbours was a humble shepherd who, in return for some work, was to receive from the farmer a heifer. Now, a heifer is a young female cow. When the time of payment came, the farmer refused to give the shepherd the heifer, and the shepherd was forced to bring the matter to the town judge. Now the judge, who was a young man and as yet not very experienced, listened to both sides, and when he had thought it over, he said, "Instead of deciding this case, I will put a riddle to you both, and the man who makes the best answer shall have the heifer. Are you agreed?" The farmer and the shepherd accepted this proposal, and the judge said, "Well then, here is my riddle. What is the swiftest thing in the world? What is the sweetest thing? And what is the richest? Think out your answers and bring them to me at this same hour tomorrow." The greedy farmer went home in a very bad temper. "What kind of a judge is this young fellow?" he growled. "If he had let me keep the heifer, I'd have sent him a bushel of pears. But now I'm in a fair way of losing the heifer, for I can't think of any answer to his foolish riddle." "What is the matter, husband?" his wife asked. "It's that new judge. The old one would have just given me the heifer without any argument, but this young man thinks to decide the case by asking us riddles." When he told his wife what the riddle was, she cheered him greatly by telling him that she knew the answers at once. "Why, husband," said she, "our grey horse must be the swiftest thing in the world. You know yourself, nothing ever passes us on the road. As for the sweetest, did you ever taste honey any sweeter than ours? And I'm sure there's nothing richer than our chest of golden coins that we've been gathering for 40 years. The farmer was delighted.
You're right, wife. You're right. That heifer remains ours.
The shepherd, when he got home, was downcast and sad. He had a daughter, a clever girl named Manka, who met him at the door of his cottage and asked, "What is it, father? What did the judge say?" The shepherd sighed. "I'm afraid I've lost the heifer. The judge set us a riddle, and I know I shall never guess it." "Perhaps I can help you," Manka said. "What is it?" So the shepherd gave her the riddle, and the next day, as he was setting out for the meeting, Manka told him what answers to make. When he reached the judge's house, the farmer was already there, rubbing his hands and beaming with self-importance. The judge again propounded the riddle and then asked the farmer his answers. The farmer cleared his throat and with a pompous air began,
"The swiftest thing in the world? Why, my dear sir, that's my grey mare, of course, for no other horse ever passes us on the road. The sweetest? Honey from my beehives, to be sure. The richest? What can be richer than my chest of golden coins?"
And the farmer squared his shoulders and smiled triumphantly. Said the young judge dryly. Then he asked, "What answers does the shepherd make?" The shepherd bowed politely and said, "The swiftest thing in the world is thought, for thought can run any distance in the twinkling of an eye. The sweetest thing of all is sleep, for when a man is tired and sad, what can be sweeter? The richest thing is the earth, for out of the earth come all the riches of the world." "Good!" the judge cried. "Good! The heifer goes to the shepherd." And later the judge said to the shepherd, "Tell me now, who gave you those answers? I'm sure they never came out of your own head." At first, the shepherd tried not to tell, but when the judge pressed him, he confessed that they came from his daughter, Manka. The judge, who thought he would like to make another test of Manka's cleverness, sent for 10 eggs. He gave them to the shepherd and said, "Take these eggs to clever Manka and tell her to have them hatched out by tomorrow and to bring me the chicks." Okay, we're going to pause it there. But what an interesting thing to ask. How could anybody hatch out 10 eggs in one day? Do you think the judge is maybe playing a trick on Manka? And what do you think Manka will do? It was very clever of her to think up such good answers to the riddles. What answers would you give? What do you think is the fastest thing in the world, the sweetest thing in the world, and the richest thing in the world? These are some good questions to think about until we come back with part 2 of the story.
What a great story. I am back now, and Deborah Caddis, I gotta say, you are the best in the world when it comes to covering for me. Also, I think it was your idea to even get these walkie-talkies in the first place from that yard sale. Oh, I guess it was more of a driveway sale, now that you mention it. Either way, I appreciate you. Remember, if you're listening and you'd also like to get a shout out, you can reach out to us on Instagram @StoriesFromNowAndThen and ask your parents to look us up. you could get a future episode dedicated to you. Stories from Now and Then is narrated by the amazing Nicola Ward, music by Captain Blunderface, and today's story, Clever Manka, is a Czech folktale adapted for the old library from the English retelling by Parker Fillmore. We'll see you all next week for part 2. You really saved the day again, Deprecatus. Also, you're right. They pretty much are usually driveway sales. I mean, we call them yard sales, but most of the time, everything's just in the driveway when you walk up to it. I mean, like, should we just start calling?
Stories from Now and Then.